So recently, I felt like I wanted to challenge myself. In that spirit, and combined with some thoughts I've had lately, I decided to play FF14 for 1 week, without using teleport, aetherytes, or even flight. To get anywhere in the game, I need to travel the old-fashioned way on the ground. Other modes of transport like ferries and airships are allowed, since they are usually the only way to enter specific regions. As for the reason I'm doing this, I will explain in full when I take my first land trip at the start of the video. Enjoy! Alright, so it's Sunday, August 27th, first thing in the morning. Well, first thing in the morning, it's actually 10 AM. But this is going to be the first day of this overall challenge in order to stay grounded, no teleports, no fast travel aside from a ferry landing, in order to get from point A to point B for the next week. Ironically enough, today is also the first day of the Rising event for the 10th anniversary. So this is a perfect opportunity to begin my journey. So I'm currently in Coerthas Central Highlands and I need to get to Ul'dah, where I think the Rising event usually starts. So while I make my way there at the beginning, let me tell you exactly why I'm doing this. One of the ways I inspire myself or think up creative ideas for my videos is by traveling around the game world, visiting places off the beaten track. Lately, however, I've started to feel a disconnect between myself and the game world, and I contribute this to the ease of travel, being able to jump from one side of Aetheris to the other in 5 seconds. I actually went the wrong way. Okay, I thought the entrance was this way, sorry. But this is an example, like I rarely ever travel on foot anymore and I don't even know where I'm going. I realise I miss out on so much of the essence of the game. The parts I love and hold so dear. Those same parts that have been my muse and inspiration to this very point. That's why I'm doing this challenge. To reconnect with the game world and hopefully to inspire myself even further. Oh, I just saw a bot literally appear and disappear right before my eyes. I need to be careful as well because all the mounts in FF14 are actually flying mounts now, so there's no only ground only mounts. So I need to be careful what I'm stepping over, because if I step off a cliff I'm going to fly, or if I press anything by mistake I'm going to fly off. That doesn't defeat the challenge though, because the challenge is to make my way from point A to point B on the land. So if I accidentally skip over something, I don't think it's going to be too bad, but I'm going to use the ground only. I'm not going to jump or anything else like that because right now I can't jump, I can only fly. Alright, so I'm in the Black Shroud and I need to make my way to, well, Gridania is there, but I'm starting to think if there actually is an entrance there in Gridania. So let me have a look here real quick. So there's New Gridania. An airship is actually valid for me, but I think I want to take a land route to Ul'dah, especially considering it's the Rising. I think I need to go to Central Shroud. Yeah. And then South Shroud. But this is a prime example of what I'm doing. Look, I've never had to look at the map so much before, and I'm having to plan out my entire route just to get from Coerthas to Ul'dah, which would usually take me 5 seconds of pressing 2 buttons, which is really cool. So Eastern Thanalan is there, and that'll bring me to Central Thanalan, I think. And then that would bring me directly to Ul'dah. Okay, so I know where I'm going now, so I need to continue heading south towards Central Shroud first. So I pass through Fulgord Float, the very same place where you'd usually teleport to the second coil of Bahamut. Good times. I always used to sit on that bench right there, waiting for everybody to gather up and for our queue to start, because you had to be at the entrance in order to actually enter. I could use faster mounts as well, like my Chocobo is not the fastest mount. I think there's only a few mounts that are actually faster than standard mounts. For example, one of them would be the SDS Fenrir. So this mount and a select few others are actually faster on the ground and in flight than other mounts like my Chocobo, but I'm not in a hurry, to be honest. If I ever am in a hurry, like tomorrow maybe I'll be in a hurry, I'll use the Fenrir, but for now I think I'm going to stick with Wyrm. I'm passing by Strigan territory. Hello my friends, I love you all. Just because I'm wearing one of you on your head doesn't mean I killed one of you in order to do it. But this is another example as well. I go off the beaten track in order to discover a number of different things about the game. And these are only things that you can discover by actually walking around the world. So there's certain little Easter eggs, little tidbits of lore that you easily pass by just by flying over or not even going through the route at all. And I should be able to reach South Shroud from here. Here's one of the many spires all over the shroud. They act as guard posts for the wood whalers in order to look after the 12's wood. I'm passing by a ferry right now, so this is the ferry that will bring you to the lavender beds. So this is likely a ferry I will take advantage of at some point, because I will need to go to the lavender beds tomorrow, because that's where my FC house is. Right, I'm passing Pooh, Buscaran's Drutters. So this is a great place as well. This place has a lot of lore in it. And it also doesn't have an aetheryte, so you'll never find yourself passing through here that much. You have to actually physically come back here in order to pass through. So let's see what Buscaran's up to. How you doing, bud? So the rumours about Laurentius are true. That bloody fool. He had gotten a second chance to start over, and he went and shat all over it. I'd set aside a bottle of my best mead to celebrate its release, but it looks like we won't be opening it after all. Instead, I'm going to smash it over his head the next time I see him. So that's a holdover from Stormblood to say that Laurentius actually is still captured after all of the events that we went through. But it looks like he's still alive, or at least as far as Buscaran knows, he's still alive. So I'm hoping we'll actually find out one day. Okay, so I need to continue heading south here, down the upper paths, and then travel up the bridge. This is a very nice camp. Like, this camp has been largely unchanged since 1.0 as well. But if you even look around, there's a lot of lore around you. Like, in the distance there, you can see the Amdapor Keep is right over there. And then if you look at the other side, which is over here, you will see the entrance to the lost city of Amdapor is right over here. So Amdapor literally is over here, and it encompassed over there as well. Large portions of the 12's wood were under Amdapor's control during their height. You have to take in the views sometimes as well. You have to stop for a second and just look at some of the views in this game, because they're absolutely stunning. I could sit for hours looking at different views in FF14, and I have. It makes you feel more and more connected to the game. Just stopping for a second and just taking it all in. I'm going to take it in right now. Ironically enough, we're passing by the South Shroud landing as well, so I'll quickly point that out as well. So over here you'll see a place that used to be a hub of activity in 1.0. This is called the South Shroud landing. So this used to be an airship landing for people traveling to different locations in 1.0. So this used to be a hub of activity, but in 2.0 it was designated as no longer required, so it was abandoned in the Calamity, and now it's been taken over by the Kuril Claws, who use it as a base of operations. And look, even though they're fates and they're all going to be combating us, like, they're just going about their business. This one's sleeping, this one's sitting, resting. The others are just going about their black market business, chatting, having a good time, mostly. Yabu Two Tails is being weird. But that's an example. Like, you have to stop and look, and you'll see how much alive this game actually is. How do I get there exactly? So I could pass through High Bridge, through Dry Bones to Central Thanalan. Although, I think I could take a walking path through the Burning Wall. It is a long hike, but I think it's worth it, especially on foot. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm having to use the map every few seconds to plan out exactly where I'm going, and the act of actually doing this is making me feel more connected to the game than I ever had. I'm frankly loving it. Like, the fact that I'm just having to physically walk across the entire game world using the map is just an experience that makes me feel like I'm in a realm reborn again. I feel more connected to the game than I have in a long time. Like, rather than flying over a map, walking through it as intended. Like, these maps, all these regions, all these worlds that were designed in FF14 were designed for the point of view of somebody walking through them, not flying over them. And I think I go across the bridge. There's a coil of Bahamut. It's the setting of the final coil of Bahamut as well. So we're heading over here. Okay, up or around. Oh, I think I took a wrong turn. No, this is a dead end, isn't it? Yeah, that's a dead end. Okay, so I need to go back. There's no way down through there. So I need to go back up the bridge. Then turn left. And go down. Okay, alright, I've got 2 paths to go. I can either go up or through. And looking at the map, I'm gonna say through. So let's go down. And walk through? Yeah, through is correct. Okay. So underground tunnel. There's a little camp in this tunnel as well. I didn't notice that before. But that's an example. Like, you'd never notice this stuff unless you're actually physically traveling through it. And in A Realm Reborn, I probably didn't take the time or the proper respect to actually look at everything and then just go, that's interesting. But now that I look at every little piece of lore in the game, I stopped to look at the little small things. So somebody had a camp here, or still has, because there's bits and pieces of the camp lying around, but a lot of them are in ruins, so I'm considering this is abandoned now, or it's the Amalja that actually set those up. Alright, so we head up and around. Look at that view. Let me zoom in. Look at that. Isn't that a view? That is a view. Look at that. I'm taking a screenshot of that. Dandelion looks very different from the ground. I think I forgot what it looked like from the ground, because you're always flying over it, so it's a completely different viewpoint when you're flying over it. Alright, center of Dandelion. So I need to head from the Unholy Air, so that's west, then go through the water tunnel, which I can do, or I can go along the train tracks, and then to the steps of Nald. I think I'll head across the Royal Elegant Starway though. Dandelion has its own unique beauty. I mean, look at it. From this perspective, with the sun shining down on you. This reminds me of old school MMOs where you had to walk everywhere. Even A Realm Reborn was like this. You had to walk all over. Considering there's this many people watching cutscenes here, I assume that the Rising is going to actually bring me here. So, that's interesting. And there we go. The shining, gleaming city of Ul'dah in the distance. Alright, welcome to Ul'dah. So, I need to find the Rising, and I can instantly see it in the distance. Everybody's gathered up here. Kippy Jakia is looking a worried sister. Is that a mistranslation? Kippy Jakia is looking a worried sister. If it isn't Wyrm, always a pleasure, my friend. Hello, Kippy. I'm just gonna call her Kippy. And how fortuitous that you should appear now, when I'm in need of help again. Pray hear me out. Of course, it's the 10th anniversary, I'll always hear you out. Okay, quicksand is right through here. I didn't really need to open a map in order to do that, but there's Kippy. Hello. So I need to head back to Central Shroud. I've already been through Blackbrush Station. I passed through there in order to get here. But you know what? In the spirit of this event as well, Chocobo keeps are actually open as well, as long as they don't allow me to fly. And this one won't. This one will take me along the land route. So, Mimi Gun, I want to borrow a porter, please. Yep, I want to go to Campbrush Station. So 1 minute for 15 gil. Sounds good to me. And I get to sit and relax. Ah, I love Chocobo Porters. I used to use Chocobo Porters a lot back in A Realm Reborn. And I still use them from time to time, whenever I need to think. Whenever I just want to relax and just explore the world without actually touching the keyboard. I actually do use Chocobo Porters still, in order to get from point A to point B. Because as I said, I use the game world to inspire myself in order to come up with ideas, or to think about elements for a video. So a porter is a perfect way for me to do that without having to interact with the world. So I get all the interaction without having to physically do it myself. He's in the Sapphire Avenue Exchange, which is just down here, isn't it? Other people with teleports? Not me. So I need to head straight down here. Ooh. Love your glamour. I love seeing people with nice glamours. I always compliment them as well. Whenever I see a nice glamour, I compliment people because they deserve it. People put a lot of work into their glamours. I do as well. So Even a little compliment goes a long way in my opinion. I'd have it no other way. These guys have been handing out flyers for years. 4 found dead in Pearl Lane. Accident or foul play. Read all about it. Oh, this is the gutter press, is it? Or, well, I suppose they're keeping people informed. I mean, 4 people did die in Pearl Lane after all, so. Screenshot time. And there's the airship going. I take a screenshot every year. I think I have all the 10 years at this point. With memories shared, yet all our own, as one we brave frontiers had known. Thank you for 10 years. I think that looks like his handwriting as well. But I think this is actually a good place to stop. But just before that, I do want to take a quick trip over to the airship landing. Because I do want to see what's going on with that letter from Louisoix. Kippy is going to join some sort of expedition, and I'd like to see if the NPC is actually there or not. Let's go down the left attendant, down to the drowning wench. That's where the NPC said he was. I wonder if I'll see Kippy here. See any changes, unless these guys have actually changed their tune. Well, I guess there's nothing for now, but that's a good place to end it, so that's day 1 for me is complete. Alright, later on, back to it. I need to go back to Ul'dah, so the best way would be back with the airship. However, I don't think I want to do that again. It's convenient, sure, it's within the rules, I could do that. But I think I want to take a scenic route on my way back. Western Louisoix, Western Louisoix. Okay, so I'll just take the ferry back to Western Thanalan and I'll proceed from there. Again, I gotta go on foot. No authorized to move around the city-states either. Alright, back in Vesper Bay. This is really gonna echo 2.0 now with my prey return back and forth on the waking sands. Goblet, Stoops now. Yep, I've made this trip a million times before, and oh, holy crap, my mount is a lot faster here. Woohoo! Oh, I have the increased speed in this area, don't I? I'm just zooming along. Holy crap! I forgot how fast they were actually on foot. I really should work on the rest so I can have fast everywhere. But still, the guy flying is ahead of me. Look, he's still going. He's a sprout and he's still ahead of me. He's like, what is this guy doing? So the path I'm actually running on right now is the Royal Allegan Sunway, which is interesting. It's a nice little lore tidbit, isn't it? Scorpion Crossing, and then to an infamous set of steps from lore, the 80 Sins of Sasimo. It's probably something I will actually cover in a video one day. Is that a new quest? I don't remember this quest. Hello. What's your name? This is a new quest. I think I'm gonna do this while I'm here, but actually no, I'll hang on for a minute. Oh, it's so busy. It's so nice to have a game like this that's just so busy. Compared to other MMOs that are literal skeletons. Although I haven't played many other MMOs in a long time. I've been playing PSO2 lately, but other than that. Alright, so I think I need to talk to the Leather Forest Tender. Okay, displayed are the messages of gratitude and encouragement with folk of the realm have been anonymously written. Yep, okay. Holy moly, that's a lot of lore. Alright, I'm going to skip over this part in the video because I want to do the research myself and get all this down, but yeah, let me transition and snap back. So, reading the second letter, I quickly realized what I was reading. These letters are actually posts from the developers and the support staff as well. So, for example, the gatekeeper seems to be a fellow IT and server engineer who is responsible for the maintenance of the game. So when the servers go down and stuff like that. So reading them was very humbling. I enjoyed reading all the different aspects of all the duties that they're performing, and while they're actually pretending to be under the guise of citizens of Aetheris. So let me quickly get that down, and then I think I'm going to go back to that quest. I should also check what they have here. Actually, yeah, I'll try the event first before I do anything else. Ah, okay, I see, okay. That's cool, I like this game. Ah, okay. I have to charge these actions. Okay. Oh dear. Okay. No. No, they're getting too close. Oh, I have actions, actually. Hang on. Ricochet. Boom. Okay. Nice, I did it. Whew. Okay, what's my score? A new record for me. Victory cup. Okay. That was good. I'm assuming there's music, but I'm not actually hearing because I don't have music on. A determined set on their jaw. The dynamic presence, as if you're ever ready to leap into action. There's no mistaking. You're an adventurer. And a dependable one at that. Okay, so somebody who doesn't recognize me. Thank God. Tell me, are you familiar with the name Louisoix Levier? Well, obviously, of course I am. For your troubles, I was certain to credit you as a collaborator, so please, won't you help me in my biography? So that the memories of the calamity might preserve for future generations. Absolutely. This is my kind of quest. This is a lore quest. This is pure lore. And Louisoix Levier is a great subject. To begin with, please come with me to Camp Drybone in East Analan. There's a place I'd like to visit ahead of the interview. And we know that the Church of Saint Adama Landana is there, so I'm assuming that's why he wants to go there. See, this is where my new challenge is coming into its own. With this new quest, specifically for the Rising, I have to do it all on foot, which is going to make it feel 100 times better. There's something calming about this, do you know that? Having to actually do it this way is actually a very calming experience. And I'm going to even make it more calm on myself by taking another Chocobo Porter once I get to Blackrush Station. Can you take me to... Oh no, he can't... Oh, you can't take me there. Do I not have the Chocobo keep unlocked in Camp Drybone? Or maybe he can't pass through instances. Oh, okay. I'll continue. Oh, okay. I'll continue on foot while looking like I'm flying. Yeah, let's go this way. Okay. So we're heading out, and we're heading along the Starway in order to get there. No, I'm sorry. This bird is too big for this. I need something smaller. All right, monkey, let's go. Welcome to Camp Drybone. Okay, so I'm assuming our gentleman is down. Oh yeah, I forgot they just bring corpses here, don't they? There you are, sir. How are you? The champion of... Yeah, okay, so he has heard of me. Small wonder I felt you were dependable. With one such as you helping me, everything would surely go well. It's hardly an uncommon tale. After the Dread Primal emerged from Dalamud, he unleashed fiery devastation across the length and breadth of Eorzea. Yeah, when we saw him do that rampage in the trailer, countless people died. But as much as the calamity had scarred the realm, it is quickly becoming just another event in the history books. That's very true. Beyond occasionally giving thanks to the Archons that Eorzea was saved, people spare it little thought. Which is what I do in my videos. I try to give it as much focus. But when you've lost so many loved ones, it's hard to feel anything was like that. That's why I wish to know more about Louisoix. By learning about his part in Eorzea's salvation, I hope I will attain closure. I mean, look at that view as well. The mountains are not fully rendered, but still. That is a hell of a view. Doing this has just... It's given me a lot more enjoyment. And I'm only a day in. So... I can't wait for the rest of this week, to be honest. Like, I thought this entire challenge would be a slog in the beginning. But I did have a set goal in mind that I wanted to deepen my connections to the game once again. Instead of flying over it, like Batman always says, try actually walking the streets instead of flying over them. And you'll learn a lot more. Oh, this old trail is iconic as well. And especially on foot, it's so much better. Look at this. I will say I'm getting a lot of ideas actually just walking through the pathways like this once again. I'm thinking about things that I wouldn't normally think of, which is usually why I do these journeys through the world in the first place. Oh, so the entrance is in here. Okay. In the cellars. I actually want to explore the cellars while I'm here. So this is... sewer, maybe? Here we ferment Muntoi beans to make sorts of wonderful religious products. Oh, how I love the smell of fermented beans. Shame my wife hates it. She won't touch me till I've bathed and washed my clothes. It's fair. I don't remember this place. What's it called? The hedge tree. Or is that the hedge tree? No, this must be the hedge tree. I'll have to look that up later. Like, there's places, for example, that I've just forgotten about. Okay, here we are. So I can take this boat into Gridania then. You're just about to return to Gridania? Yeah, take me. Okay, Gridania. And the place I'm looking for is Apkalu Falls, of course, a place of infamy. So I'll walk my way over there. No aetheryte, thank you. Okay, so now that we know where we need to go to Maelstrom Command. So what's the best way of getting to Maelstrom Command? I could just go to New Gridania and take an airship. Although, first I want to see if there is another way. Sadly not, I think I'll have to take an airship, but to be honest I think I'm fine with that as well. So let's head over there and take an airship. Okay, airship landing, which should take me down to the Drowning Wench, which is where I want to go actually, because that's right beside Maelstrom Command. Shiny Pikachu. You're not shiny. I know what a shiny Pikachu looks like. There's Nanaji. I have a feeling it's Commander Ricky. Yep, let's go in and have a look. Who's gonna greet us? I knew it! It is her! Ever a sight for sore eyes, and you must be Nanaji. Orshad Ricky at your service. I understand you wish to hear about the operation to destroy the Limion transmitter. I knew it was her. I remember her from 1.0. I'm penning a biography for Archon Louisoix, you see, for which I'm interviewing people who had dealings with him. I truly appreciate your time. Thank you. Yeah, I am a part of the Maelstrom, so I have to salute. Okay, so I've done this route a million times. I don't even need to look at the map. Let's mosey my way over here. Although, look at nighttime. Nighttime in Limsa is probably one of my best things. And Lenossi, it looks amazing at night. Okay, Morby Dry Docks, right beside... Oh, there you are, my dude. Okay. Do you want a good little piece of lore as well? This ship that is standing in front of us, which is still not done after 10 years. Its name is Victory. But the reason it's called Victory is it's because it's named after Admiral Merweb's Chocobo. Remember you saw all the Alliance leadership in the 2.0 trailer at Cartano all in their Chocobos? Merweb was heavily injured during the events of the Battle of Cartano, and our Chocobo brought her back from the front lines, but the Chocobo unfortunately passed away doing so. So it gave her his life in order to get her to safety, which is why she had the ship commissioned and named Victory in honor of that Chocobo. I can't remember the Chocobo's name unfortunately, but there's a bit of lore. He's not a very happy fellow, is he? So you're writing Louisoix's autobiography and you want to hear my account as someone who was near on hand at Cartano. It's fair, isn't it? He recognizes me. There must be a reason you're here too, warrior of light who led us to victory in Operation Archon. Value well, I would tell you my tale. Yeah, well, I did what I could. So he does remember me from 1.0. Now then, where to begin? The battle was completely forgotten. Bahamut took wing and spewed fire all over the land. So everything burned the moment this happened. But notice, if you will, look at his harness. The fragments of his harnesses are still actually wrapped around him. I'm following the path as well, as you can see. Like, I could take shortcuts, but I choose not to. I prefer to take the path that the developers laid out for me. Shortcuts are cool and all, but there's nothing like walking along the beaten path. Alright, Ul'dah. I can still hear the fireworks in the background as well now that the music's off. So we need to head downstairs, and he should be at the Hall of Flames, which should be on the Hustling Strip, which is where I'm going. There you are. I ended up troubling you longer than I had intended, but it was truly a fruitful series of interviews. How fortunate we could hear about those who lived that fateful time. While I still have many questions, the biography is beginning to take shape in my mind. I also feel as though I've attained a measure of closure. Louisoix fought simply as one of us, and he made the ultimate sacrifice that hope might endure. Now then, last but not least, I'd like to ask you for your thoughts on something. Sure. According to Orn, Louisoix smiled in his final moments. As he was enveloped in light, what do you imagine he held in his mind? The image of mankind thriving in the future, which is exactly what he did hope for, because that's what he told us. Oh, I think that's it for me for today, but honestly, having to do that quest while having no access to aetherytes, having to travel manually throughout the world, it made it that much more impactful to me. It made it feel that much more, if you understand my meaning. I am loving this challenge so far, and this is only day one. I have a week of this to do, so by next Sunday I'll be done with this, but day one done, and my god, it was only been one day and I only feel more invigorated than I've felt in years. Whew, okay, day 2 of being flightless with no access to ethereal travel. Today I don't really have that much to do other than the fact that I'll be gathering with my FC in order to do some mount farming, tome farming, and we're also doing some screenshots for the celebration of the 10th anniversary. That takes place mainly an hour from now, so I need to move myself over to the Gridania and Lavender beds. Usually our FC gathers there, and then I'll have to follow my FC on foot to wherever they're going. But before that, that's about an hour away, I need to do some screenshots first for another video that I'm actually working on. For that, I need to get from Ul'dah, where I am now, over to Aziz Lla. Make of that what you will. Alright, let's have a look. So, Aziz Lla will be at about the spine. So, Aziz Lla is there, okay. Now, what's the entrance to Aziz Lla? Okay, well that's not too bad. So I need to make my way from Ul'dah to Ishgard, and then go from the pillars, likely on an airship, to Aziz Lla. Well, that's not so bad. Okay, let's do it. Let's see, Central Thanalan will bring me to Northern Thanalan, which will bring me to Mordona, which will then bring me to Coertha Central Highlands, and Central Highlands will bring me to Foundation. Okay, that's a good route to take, and it's different than the route I took yesterday. So let's do that first. Okay, Central Thanalan. Do I want to take a Chocobo Porter again? I think I do. I think I want to take the Porter again, at least at Blackbush Station. It's nice to see a lot of new players running around as well. Like, there's one. There's another one right over there. It's nice to see so many people active as well. Especially newer players. Alright, let's do a random mount farm. What am I going to get? Fat Chocobo. Perfect. Alright, we're heading to Northern Thanalan. Okay, so we're heading around here. And we're going... Okay, we're going up the mine. Okay. Ah, we're going through the tunnel. Okay, fair enough. Having to find your way around again is so jarring, but it's also cool. Well, it's a quick way of getting to Blue Frog, which I'm here now. Yeah, take me to the cerulean processing plant, please. Thank you. I remember my days in Camp Blue Frog and Northern Thanalan in general so well. If you recall, for those who played during A Realm Reborn, when you were playing the main story in 2.0, it wouldn't max out your level. So you'd end up in probably like the 40s or something before you got to the final quest. And then you had to grind fates for the rest of it. Well, you didn't have to grind fates, you could do dungeons as well, I suppose, but fates back then were the primary source of experience between level 45 and level 50. And I personally enjoyed it. I was grinding these fates for hours in order to get my level up. The same with everybody else, really. I do miss the grind, to be honest. Like, I love a good level grind. It's something that's ingrained deep into my soul. Oh, she cheered at me as well. Did you see that? As soon as I arrived, she's like, hello. Almost looking like... People used to call these ships flying cigars a long time ago. I think they still do, but we haven't really seen these ships ever since. They show up in the background, but we haven't actually seen them or fought them or anything else like that. But if you can believe it or not, these things are actually troop carriers. So they're not like fighters. So troops will be actually stored in the big... I guess I'll just call it a cylindrical cigar. And then they'd land and they'd dispatch the troops in order to just get behind enemy lines. Okay, here we are. Okay, Castrum Sentry. And then I'll just need to make my way over to Revenant's Toll. And then I can make my way to Coerthas from there. Mordona, in my opinion, is a very special area. It's very mysterious because it just looks like a hellscape. Although it looks like a pretty hellscape. Through here, it's relatively quiet around Mordona. Like, Mordona still gets a lot of activity. It's still a hub for many people to use. Okay, Hall of the Seven Echoes. Coerthas, Central Highlands and Western Highlands have to be my favorite areas because I fondly remember grinding fates here, first of all. But I also am just a big fan of snow and pine trees covered in snow and other things like that. So these areas really appeal to me. Like, look at the landscape. You've got the eternal winter, you've got the icy river just flowing through. And you've got all the wildlife that's currently trying to still adapt to the situation. And you've got some eerie Dalamud remains here. Now, considering the fact that I'm going to get to Aziz Lla quicker than I expected to get to Aziz Lla, I think I want to visit a place here first before I go there. So let's quickly head down this way. And we're going to make our way towards Behemoth's domain. There we go up here. If you haven't fought the Behemoth's fate, it spawns here, I think, every week or so. And you'll usually see it fought here. You'll fight him, he'll retreat, and then I think you fight him a second time. And then you fight him a third time in his own domain. And then he'll fight to the death, essentially. But if you do remember the Around Reborn trailer, when you see the Behemoth actually roaring, and you have the Crystal Tower in the background, the Behemoth is actually standing right here. So this is the place that you see in the trailer, with the Behemoth just going raw. I'm loving this sky as well. Look at that sky. Hello, Phoenix. We've got Ishgard in the background. I remember in A Realm Reborn, people were like, I can't wait to visit Ishgard, and it was taunting us in the background there the entire time. And we're just like, soon. I bet the next expansion is going to bring us there. And then we found out not long after 2.0 launched, I think at 2.1, that we actually were going to Ishgard. Okay. It's nighttime. It's usually always nighttime whenever I come here. Alright, so which way do I need to go in order to get where I need to go? Let's see. The pillars is where I need to go, isn't it? Ishgard is a beautiful city, but a lot of people don't actually see much of it in order to actually appreciate its proper beauty. And I'll give you an example, right? So I'm running along like this. That's my standard camera view. A standard camera view for most people. And we spend our time looking like this. But you have to embrace a bigger perspective. This is something I learned a couple of years ago. If you just tilt your camera and then start looking around, like you look at the infrastructure that is actually set up here. Like the moon in the background. Ishgard just opens up when you start looking with a different point of view. Instead of just looking like this, everything just looks the same. But the moment you tilt your camera, the whole city just opens up before you, and it's the same everywhere else. Yep, please Northdol champs, take me to Aziz Lla. Oh yeah, so I remember that now. Okay, fair enough. And that's how I'm gonna get back from here as well. So alright, welcome to Aziz Lla. If you're ever wondering what these giant rings are, this is a docking port for a Ragnarok class internment hulk. Exactly what a Ragnarok class internment hulk is, I'm not very certain, but I think they use them like the cargo ships that we use in our world. And at least a few of those Ragnarok class internment hulks went into the construction of Dalamud in order to make Dalamud fly. I think they built the entirety of Dalamud around not only Bahamut's prison, but also around these internment hulks in order to make it a vessel, essentially. Because otherwise it's just a big giant metal prison. Alright, the reason I'm here is to take a few screenshots. Exactly why I'm taking these screenshots I'm not ready to divulge just yet, but it is part of my next video. So let your imagination run wild if you want. Again, this is such a different experience than just flying over this place. Like, when I fly over it, you don't really grasp the vastness of Aziz Lla. Like, it's an entire zone. But now that you have to walk through it, you just see the entire scope of it. So, an entire Allegan research facility Like, look at that. Look at that view. Let me turn off my UI. Look at that. Now, isn't that cool? I'm going to sit here for a second because I'll probably end up using this footage in one of my videos. There we go. The elegant teleporter. That's what we're looking for. Fully functioning console. Okay. Take us to the beta quadrant, please. This is the place I wanted to be. This is a place where a lot of the chimera that Ala created were actually designed. So this Lamnia, for example, is actually a chimera as well. Most of the creatures that you see around here, at least the ones with biological components, are chimera. Okay, yeah, so I'll take a few pictures while I'm here. So bear with me a few minutes while I just do my work, taking my pictures as required. Am I getting inspired by simply walking around this zone? The answer is definitely yes. Like, seeing the zone as it was meant to be seen. This zone was designed for foot traffic in mind. It looks completely different when you're walking around it rather than flying over it. It's definitely a spectacle when you're flying over it, but being a part of the landscape now is so much better, especially for my mind. It's definitely inspiring me and it's giving me a couple of ideas. Back to Ishgard, please. And I think I could take an airship back to Gridania. The question is, do I want to? Actually, I think I just need to make my way to the Shroud and then I can take a ferry from the Shroud to where I need to go. I always still find it surprising that this area used to be lush highlands before the snow came. So the moment the calamity hit, all of this turned into a snowy region. It used to be a lush valley environment before then. So yeah, go to Bent Branch Meadows and then to Lavender Beds. Although now that I'm in the central Shroud, there is a place I want to show you as well. It's a place probably most people know about. This place has always fascinated me. This tiny little pond right in the middle, and it's got moorballs in it. 2 moorballs, 2 gigantic freaking moorballs to be exact. But it's actually happily growing despite the fact that these guys are highly poisonous. There is still an amount of growth going on, although I don't know if they actually approve of having these things around. But these trees are nice. Look at the little tree. But yeah, these guys are, they're big. They're so big. Oh, bots. I see bots. Bots. I see bots. I'm going to trade the bot. Hang on. Trade. Dang it. Let me trade you. Trade. Trade. There you go. Now you're stuck. No. Trade. There you go. No. No. I refuse to allow you to do what you need to do. Dang it. They got crafty. They cancelled trade. Dang it. That used to be one of my favorite ways of stopping bots. Look at this for the Shroud. The Shroud just looks so vast, especially when you're on the ground. Like, flying doesn't really work that well in the Shroud in my opinion, but the ground definitely does. How do I... Oh yeah, travel toward the Tree Company estate. There we go. Alright, it's good they put the option in, otherwise I'd have to look for it. Now I need to make my way to my FC. There's my friends all sitting here waiting for me as well. Oh yeah, they've got their outfits. That's right, I forgot. I need to put my outfit on. Or I need to find my outfit. Where's my outfit? I'm not going to put the helmet on, because... No.
Okay, because here there's just enough space.
No, I need to go. I need to go now. Quick, I need to go.
The Oba thing coming.
Oh,
I think I'm going to fail.
It's still 3 minutes, so
gonna
that's
fail.
why Sky probably.
Alright, I'm not adding myself to the
Free
party, because
teleport.
they'll know where I am otherwise. I've got an idea. It's scummy, but I've got an idea. I can make it. I think I can make it, although I need to pull the trick off. So, guys, I'll be right back. Just 2 minutes. I just need to do something.
No worries.
We're also waiting.
I lied to my FC. I'm sorry.
I've got an idea. Where's a standstill iron quickly?
What?
I want to see if
What? Standing still.
Yeah.
What do you
okay.
want?
just like that.
I need to make
And
my way
still.
down quick.
Oh, head
And
button.
then-
Almost there. I can do this.
Afterwards, we're gonna all sign up for Done Safe. We can see how to make the group.
Yay, don't say.
We're signing up for Done Space?
Yeah.
Casa del Sol, there we go.
Gonna do a Done Safe.
I did it. Okay,
What?
I did it. Swim, swim, swim,
Costa.
swim, 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 swim.
On the island, on the island.
What me where?
Are you on the island? There they are. Alright, I made it, I made it.
And it's been so long that that's like 2 times ago when Sky was Bunny Boy.
It's almost 2 years ago as well.
Mm.
Worst, I think
Oh.
2 can be pretty spicy even.
Embrace the suck.
Are we going to fight Ultimate now, or is that
No,
not
do
yet?
you want something here? You never
Right to
noticed
Ultima.
before, but these flowers
Yeah.
have eyeballs. Look.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do. Oh, that's
Proto
both cool and
Ultima.
creepy at the same time. I want some for Halloween.
Yeah. So, sponsored by
I wanna
Heck.
eat some.
Why just for Halloween though? I have a skeleton spider. that I
Oh,
keep
there's
around
the
here.
subject of my next video. Hello, Proto.
This used to be a different boss though, and then
I'm not
Yeah,
doing
it
that, I'm
is.
taking screenshots.
I will
It
protect
changed
you,
because of
Oh, there it is,
FanFest.
boss.
Thank you, Sky.
They
I don't know where you are, but I will protect you
some.
somehow.
As a fight in the
I'm behind the boss.
at
Oh, you there?
FanFest, and then
Yeah.
I have a shield just in case.
was it the
Ow.
blood
Alright, I
thingy
need a
that gave the
picture from
blood
the
sword
front.
or
There we
so?
go.
Or is that after? New AoE, who this?
Oh god, I can't see a thing.
You got time.
There we go, that's what I want. The money shot.
Ooh, where are you? I wanna be in the shot.
Yeah, where are you?
I've been
I'm-
trying, but
I'm
it
near
keeps
the
running
front.
away
I can
from me.
see you. I can see you, Sky.
Oh, there he is.
Nice, that's the money shot.
Get me in my nice sage pose.
I will. I got you there. I see Irene as well. Alright, you're all in the shot. Good, good, good.
Yay.
Yeah, a lot of people had Kingdom Hearts references back in the day for this.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they still do in a lot of ways. Because there's hearts all over the place.
Can't see.
Alright, I need to get to our market boards. That easiest route would be Limsa, and the ferry's actually right there. However, I think I'm going to forgo the ferries for the rest of this challenge because they're starting to honestly feel a bit too convenient. So, unless I've no choice and I have to take a ferry or an airship like to Aziz Lla like yesterday, I think I'm just going to go by foot. Like, I have to say, this entire challenge has given me an essential nostalgia. I remember walking these routes in 2013 when 2.0 first launched, making my way out of Limsa, going to Costa del Sol as a marauder, not even a warrior yet. It's filling me with all sorts of good times. Like, I don't even know where I end up going half the time in this challenge. But it is nice seeing everything. Passing the windmills of Limion. Oh, I remember that as well. My very first fate of 2.0 was this fate right here. You call that a toad. Where you had to kill all these toads, the yellow jackets are having an extremely hard time, and they keep flowing out of this tunnel, which was cool. I really enjoyed this fate. And all other fates. Fates are my favorite piece of content in FF14. Welcome to Limsa. Luckily it's a city I know like the back of my hand, so I know instantly where I need to go and how I need to do it. Not really doing much today, to be perfectly honest. I'm just taking care of a few errands. I'm going to top up my retainers with items that I need to sell, and honestly that's it. I have plenty of other things I need to do today, unfortunately. In case you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I'm selling lower level items, sub level 50. Primarily because I've noticed in all the servers I've been on, the sub level 50 market for high quality gear in particular is either very bare bones or non-existent at all, and the items that do exist are severely overpriced. Like some of the things I'm creating right now, like the Peridot bracelets, could go as high as 60,000 for a level 29 item, which is frankly extortion for any newer players. I know newer players are not the only market I'm actually catering to, but I like to keep the market as competitive as I can while cheap enough for new players to buy stuff. Alright, so my main goal today is some tombstone farming. I really need to get a lot of the items from this new event. So I think I'm going to need at least 100 of these things. I only have 14. So I'll likely do a lot of dungeon grinding in order to get that done. But in the meantime, usually when I do one of these events, I like to keep myself busy outside of the actual dungeons themselves. So this time I think I'm going to go to the first, do some quests, and particularly grind a lot of fates on jobs that I need to level up. Now, I need to get to the first. So if memory serves me correctly, the entrance to the first is on Mordona. Okay, let's see. Crystal Gate? No. Crystal Tower? No. Where is the entrance to the first other than... Because I thought it was here. No, come on. There has to be a way. I'm going to Mordona. Like, if there's something, there must be something in Mordona. An NPC I can talk to that's not on the map. Run, Wyrm, run. Alright, so I need to cross the bridge and then go to Central Flatland. It's easy enough. No fate. Oh, there is a fate on this bridge. Yeah, I'm gonna do that while I'm waiting. Because this comes as part of my fate, so I need to do that. Oborn Monastery. Okay, let's see if this pops. This is a dungeon and raid series I really enjoy. The Return to Evil East series was, in my opinion, an outstanding nod to the series itself, particularly to the Evolution games. Oh, this scene is probably one of the most beautiful intros. Look at that. With the waterfall, the ruins. Oh, I mean, you have to appreciate these things. Like, this is just the entrance, so everybody's rushing in. But you have to take a minute to just appreciate the artists and the designers who did so much to make this reality, to make it look that amazing. Ugh, it's painful. Alright, well, we need to kill. Yeah. Everybody's weak, I'm gonna need to put my best in. I should have potions, don't I? Yeah, I do. Okay. Super potion. Okay. No, she's not done yet. There she is.
I am the only gold.
Not really. Alright, so that's another 14 tomes under my belt. So let's head to Mordona again. Okay, so we're heading up to Rabon's Push, then into Mordona via the Garlean base Castrum. And then we'll find out whether or not I can actually get there. Alright, so... yeah, so Omphalos is there. Our airship landing with the Scion's airship was around here. But the airship's not here anymore. There is no way to get to the first other than teleporting. But the mirror connects us to... because we can go into the Crystal Tower and the mirror connects us to something. What the hell does it connect us to? Alright, once this challenge is over, I am going to teleport over to the first. I'm going to go into the Crystal Tower and I'm going to find out where, if it's actually still there or not. Or if it got erased now that we can go back to the past. So, yeah, I think on Sunday, when the challenge is done, that's what I'll do. For the love of Hydaelyn. Okay, so I couldn't help not knowing where it was. It was driving me nuts. I even went to sleep just going, where the hell is the entrance? So I teleported there today, broke my own rules, walked into the Crystal Tower and teleported back to the source. And it turns out the guy from Mordona was right freaking here. It was just masked by the Keeper of the Lake. So I had to zoom right in order to see it. I am annoyed, but also it just shows I didn't look hard enough. So he's right here. I'm going back to the first to do some fates. So right under there, Crystal Tower foundations, or I assume that would probably be a labyrinth as well, wouldn't it? Alright, welcome to the first. So my goal today is the same as my goal yesterday. I'm going to do some fates in Lakeland, more than likely, using one of my range classes that I need to level, so likely my Bard. And I think at the same time I will queue as a Bard as well for... maybe I'll queue for Dunscape. Or C. Okay, let's see. What do we got? We've got a fade up here. Don't feed the gremlins. Got 6 minutes. There's 8% on the. These are 2 fates I hate. But either way, I'll do those fates. This is something actually I didn't anticipate. I completely forgot about it. If I'm gonna do fates in a big area like this, I'm gonna have to run physically from one to the other instead of flying. Flying makes fates much more convenient, but now it's a Realm Reborn style doing fates like this, which is good. Oh no, Hop Trap, I didn't mean it. No, Trip It, I didn't mean it either. I'm so no. Minefield. Oh, should bring my Chocobo out as well. That's important. Wyrm, you're needed. Get him. This battle music, I miss it so much. Although not as much, primarily because I do fates here on a regular basis. So. But it is something I do miss in my day-to-day. Whoa. While it's good it popped, it means I can't get this fate done. Oh no. No, I want to finish this fate. I'm going to withdraw. That's going to hurt me, but I think I should be able to queue after the fact. Alright, now I'll queue. Dang, this mount is slow. And it doesn't even touch the ground. That's interesting, look. Walking on the ground, this mount doesn't touch the ground. All that lives will someday die, yeah. Thanks for the message. That's good timing as well. Means I'll get out of this fight. Whee. And the bell. So if you look at the bell in the background, it's constantly toiling. I think it stops toiling after we clear the trash. Now this, I remember somebody asked me about this dragon a long time ago, just going, what's the story with this dragon? And to be honest, I don't have an answer for you. It's definitely looking like it's undead due to the coloration, the eyes, and some of the scarring on the wings and so on and such. So there's 2 hypotheses that I have about that dragon. First, it was sacrificed to the void by either the Alligans or by Mac. Or second, it happened to be flying around the Sea of Clouds, it ended up running into Dunscape, and it ended up getting killed and then possessed by a void scent that inhabited the area. Those are the only 2 things I can think of, but I think the former is most likely. I always found it interesting that it's the Ellison or the Elven on the first are dicks. Like they're the ones that all turn to be criminals, and you rarely see a nice one outside of the Crystarium. And they're all like, piss off. I like how it has a similar modeling to the frog, except this body's longer. But its head cocks around the same way. Frogs don't dash like that though, but still. Alright, the fish are safe. Oh, I remember this fate. This fate has an interesting, I'm gonna call it a bug. Some people will call it a feature, I'm gonna call it a bug. But at the very end of this fate, they all yell the same line as they run away. So, let me get you to the end of this fate and then we'll see if I was right that it happens again. But I'm fairly certain this is the fate where they all do it. Well, they didn't. Well, they all... Some of them repeat the same line, but they didn't do it like usual. Maybe it wasn't this fate. Maybe it's one of the other fates. So, let's run up to the fortress. I can't even remember how to get up there, actually, so... It's been an interesting exploration on my own. Okay, let's see... There's... The stay is over there. I'm assuming that's where I go. Corellosaur. That's my life, essentially. Trying to pronounce everything correctly. No, I'm not doing the fate. I need to go eat. I'm starving. How do I get in here? No. Leave me alone. I'm just trying to get to the undeads. There they are. And the wisps are... I'm assuming dark in nature. Erlich. pillaged. The Elven Knights, who are very disheveled. That's a classic armor from Realm Reborn. You'd see it all the time. The Stone Vigil is another example of a place you'd see it. I kind of wish the doors opened. I would have liked to have seen inside. We never did get to see inside this place. Okay, I think I'll just leave it there then, and I'll catch up on some fates after I eat my food and then just continue on. Alright, happy Friday. Now, a new story of Tales Under the New Moon released, and it involved Thancred and Ranjit. And it's got me into the kind of mood that I just want to see Ul'dah again, so I need to drop by there real quick, and then I need to go to Ala Mhigo in order to get some screenshots for an upcoming video. What a view. Well, in keeping with... I'm not gonna die, so I need to jump, so... The one thing is, when you look at that tower, you have to realize it's 100 years older, at least. Or actually, no, at least 200 years older than ours. And the thing has physically traveled through dimensions. So, yeah, it's not in as good condition as ours, but it's still in good condition. The simple pleasure of walking up a stairs. Then again, we didn't really have a choice when you're in Crystarium. But usually somebody would take an Aetheryte at this point. I always liked the Crystarium. The fact that it's the Crystal Tower, the ancient elegant walls, and then you have a town that builds up outside it. It's like old cities that had walls all around them, and then a town just sprouts up outside the walls. Like, London is a good example. What's another example? Frankfurt is another great example of a walled city inside a big city. Why is there 3 of these guys? I'm assuming they all go different places, do they? Elder Kalusia, Ul'dah, Amarang, and an Amaro Porter to... Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I'll probably do that one day. For now I need to go to Kalusia. I'm looking for... Something just went over a speed bump outside and seriously wrecked itself, I think. What I'm looking for is this scene here, where you see Ranjit standing over here, because I'm looking at this a particular line. I won't spoil it, actually. So, if you haven't read it, go ahead and read it. But apparently it mentions the graves of the former Minfilius that have come and gone. That's where Ranjit ended up. So after he was defeated, he was found lying before the graves of these people, essentially. So I'm curious to see if actually a location like that actually exists in game. And I'm looking at the scenery just to see if there is something. And wait a second, I'm standing on it. Yeah, look at the image. I'm standing on it. Okay. So we're going over here. Depending on what the image is. But that's only him standing there. That's not to say the graves are here. It's a great zone. It's an underappreciated zone. This is what La Mhigo would have looked like before the Calamity, for example. Because look at it. There's no rivers. La Mhigo has no rivers. Before the Calamity, anyway. So, ooh, is it over here? I think close. Oh, here it is. Here it is. So he's standing roughly, yeah, because I can see that bush as well. He's standing right here. Yeah, so this is where he's standing in the screenshot. Okay. Yeah. So this is where he's standing. There's no graves, unfortunately. But that's not to say there isn't a gravesite. Let's think about it for a second. Where would the illustrious, decadent people of Ul'dah bury their dead if they didn't turn them into Mio or something? Which is a frightening possibility. It is still nice to see this place. Look at the This is something I never noticed before. Look at the details on the sea floor on the beach. But I'd love the subtle nods in Ylmore to Limsa. So Limsa, if you're not aware, was originally formed by the wreck of a ship called the Gridania, a pirate ship that crashed and wrecked itself upon the rocks of where Limsa stands today. So that was the foundation of Limsa. That's still why they call it the Great Ship, because it started as an actual ship. So let's go over and have a look. The weather's closing in on us. It's getting foggy. So this is going to make our search even harder now that we're having to look around in the fog. The Split Hull, the Barrow Isle, and Whisper Wind Cove. Okay, so that's probably where I want to go. I'm almost tempted to switch mounts, but I don't give this whale enough use, and we never did see it appear in game. I think we were all expecting to see something like this on the moon, or for it to be something like it to be our ferry to the moon, but I mean, I've looked and I've looked. I don't see anything. Unless there's just a grave site that I'm not aware of. Because he was badly hurt when he was in Ylmore. Are we expected to believe that he dragged his ass all the way out here in order to plop himself next to the Minfilius? Roads mean less and less in the other expansions. Like in around Reborn zones, they mean a lot for getting through. But in an open field like this, people just take the most direct route. Yeah, so if there was a grave, it would be around here, do you know? So maybe he dragged himself outside and put himself near a grave right here. I'm starting to think I don't want to go to Ala Mhigo right now. I'll probably do it tomorrow, because I'm getting wrapped up in this at the moment. Oh, there's a vista as well. While others simply squat in whatever remains of the ship's broken hulls. That makes me wonder. If you sailed out into the sea, I'm assuming you're going to hit some sort of barrier. But we know what the barrier looks like in Amarang. But what does it look like on the sea? No graves, unfortunately. What about you, Missy? But now that there's a sea to sail, I intend to find out. Oh. Maybe there is. Maybe the sea is available now. Maybe with us putting an end to the flood of light, maybe the sea is actually passable now. It's an impressive fire for cooking, because the heat would be actually trapped within the stones and it would be elevating up here, but it would probably incinerate your pot. No, I won't just eat them already. Sure, they're useless. What with not being able to lay eggs at all, but we're friends now. Wait a second. What does she mean by that? No, I won't just eat them already. Sure, they're useless. What with not being able to lay eggs at all, but we're friends now. Did chickens lose their... Or is it just these chickens, or did chickens in general lose the ability to lay eggs? What do I know? Whoa! He's gonna eat his face off. I can't wait. What? Oh, that's nasty. Oh, you can hear it as well. Listen. Listen. Ooh. Let's think about this for a second. Would it be at the lowest levels? Is it possible that there's some, like, mausoleum? Ah. Okay. Hi. Maybe I should draw the curtain. Possibly. Maybe you should. I doubt it. I highly doubt there's anything in here. But it's worth a look. Just for Pete's sake. I guess I'll look again another time just to see, but it doesn't look like there's a grave. Or nothing that's standing out as looking like a grave. Yeah, unfortunately that search didn't pan out. So I guess I'll go to Ala Mhigo tomorrow. It's getting late. But I'm still sad I didn't get to see that grave, but at least I saw the location that was in the story, so I got something. Alright, I need to go to Ala Mhigo. Specifically, I need to go to the locks because I need some screenshots for one of my future videos. I have a feeling this is going to be a very long walk, and honestly I'm looking forward to it. Like, it doesn't feel like a burden to me. It feels like an adventure, and that's exactly what I want. Like, my It's a quest. And my quest reward is getting the screenshots that I require. Alright, I'm going to follow the path actually, because there is a big path that just winds all the way around. So I'm just going to follow that. Alright, now I need to make my way back to... Yeah, I need to go to the key crystal tower first. On my way down, I'm not going to jump. Nope. Downstairs. Downstairs again. Ooh, this is a lot of stairs. Whew, this is a lot of stairs. So many stairs. Alright, here's where our walking begins. So, I'm gonna need to head towards the shroud. So, no. I want to pick my mount. For this one, if I'm gonna go along this route, I want to pick a mount. So, I think... I suppose I could use Maggie. God, it's like trying to pick a movie. You just can't pick... Ah, my Spriggan, of course. I'm gonna use my Spriggan. Why not? I love my Spriggan. I find the weather is much more affecting my playstyle when I'm actually restricted to the ground. Because when you're flying overhead, it doesn't really affect you as much. But when you're on the ground and visibility is severely limited as a result, it is much more immersive in my opinion. Like, this blizzard is severely hampering my view. So I know where I'm going because I have a mini map as well, of course, but I ran the wrong way again, didn't I? Dang it. Okay, I ran the wrong way. Ah, I lost my Spriggan again. I completely passed it. Look, I've made the same mistake I've made on day one. I suppose I really need to focus now, so let me focus on my path going forward and leave my map open as well. Alright, so the east route is over here past the new Gridania entrance, so we're just going to follow the pathway past the giant marbles. I still remember my first week in 2.0 farming dynamites was my way of originally making my first million. The dynamite webs went for a lot of money back then, as did bat blood. So it's actually in... My farming spot was actually in North Shroud, but I think if I recall correctly, I made a couple of million, but I actually had a million stripped away because a few weeks after 2.0 launched, I think to combat duplications, they stripped a lot of people of guild over 1 million or something like that, if I recall correctly. So I think I was one of those people. I wasn't too far above a million. I think I was like 1.6 or something, but I think I did lose a couple 100,000 in that instant. Let's pass by the vultures here. I really need to stop closing my... I suppose another story time is in order. So I remember the launch of Stormblood. So day one, I'm here, had my week off doing the expansion. We were stuck here, or specifically, if I can remember the spot precisely, I think it was down here. Yeah, it was roughly around here. So essentially what happened is the main story started to proceed, the main quests, and one of the quests required a duty that you participated by talking to Raubon. But the issue was there were so many instances being generated on patch day 1 that the entire servers, every data center got congested at this point, and most people couldn't actually proceed with the quests, and there were so many people actually asking at the same time. So it was like a lottery just talking to this guy in order to get through to the duty that you needed to do, because every player's personal duty acts as a duty slot, just like a foreman. So as a result, a lot of us found ourselves stranded in this portion of the map. So what a lot of us ended up doing was fate farming, and I couldn't have been happier, because in Heaven's Ward, fate farming died off essentially. Like, fate farming was a big thing in A Realm Reborn. It was one of our only ways of leveling. It quickly tapered off halfway through A Realm Reborn, and for Heaven's Ward as well, we didn't have a grind, which really upset me personally. So when this came back for, it was only like a day, I think, but it was like dozens, if not hundreds of players were running all over this place doing fates. And I loved every second of it. And if I recall correctly, we went over here as well because a rank A actually spawned up here. So I'll take you over here actually because it's another way of getting where I need to go. So we're all doing fates here, rushing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth in this giant zerg of hundreds of players. It was glorious. I loved every second. I still remember it like it happened yesterday. But what happened is something that is ingrained in my memory. Is a rank A spawned, and it was down here actually. Yeah, it was down here just where that island is. I can't remember exactly which one it was. I think it was a giant crocodile, or it was something along those lines, something similar to them. And it was level 70. So we're all level 60, and we're like, okay, let's do it. This thing tore through like 100 players, like they were not even there. Like tanks were dying after a few shots, healers were getting one shot, but we were able to take it down because there were just so many of us. It was getting hit from all sides. The hunt didn't know eventually because a lot of melee started to die, like the people generating the top threat, and the rank A just kept bouncing between people because they made a giant circle around him and it was just bouncing all over the place. So it didn't really know which way to go. Like whoever it reached was going to die, sure, but it spent a lot of time moving towards that person, killing that person, then moving on to the next one. So through a battle of attrition, and I died to it as well. Like, it was so fun. My machinist got absolutely mauled, but it was so great. I remember that like it was yesterday. So that was just another tale I thought I'd tell as well. I could visit the tower as well. I mean, seeing like the comparison between this, like it almost looks like a wasteland, and then you have Baelsar's wall at the other side with those giant spires. It's an iconic view, isn't it? Wait, how do I get over here now? There's so many things in the way. I can't cross the river. Alright, I need to cross that bridge, then go down the coast, cross that bridge, and then get to the peaks. I remember when my wife played this game, one thing she used to always do was go out to one of these zones and farm sprites for crystals. Wasn't really much of a profit in it, but she enjoyed doing it, so I enjoyed letting her. Oh, so there is a burrow antlion. Okay. Up you get. Wait, can I coax you out? Don't die. Oh. Oh, he's immune. Okay. That's cool though. I forgot they did that. So there is burrowing ones. Okay. You got Omega's former domain over there. Griffin. Hello, Berda. Once again, warriors of the Amp tribe hunt the scourge of the skies, the feathered fiend White Death. The warriors hunt Burda and welcome any who might seek to share in their glory. Now leave the griffin alone, it's not doing that. So just, I'm gonna let him be. That's a view, isn't it? Ziggurat. The ziggurat is just, it's a standout, but it kind of, it blends in as much as it can really. But I do like that that pathway exists between the top and the bottom. I think it's over there actually. And you have those weird floating rocks as well. I don't think that's ever explained, is it? So White Rock is there, so we're going to cross the bridge. We might visit Robon's old hometown. Then head for the locks. Because the locks are where I need to go. I need some screenshots from there. Gnomecraft's Hope. Still sitting up there. Still magically charged. Still completely unexplained. Although I did elaborate into a lot of possibilities about its origins. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. Okay, so we're good blade, down the stairs. Oh, we have to pass through this, the Imperatorius. Okay, that makes sense. When the King of Ruin fell, his head executioner, refusing to be subjected to the same cold justice he dealt his entire life, slit his own throat. Unable to bear the loss, the executioner's pet beast, Neckbreaker, took to the peaks, where he has been continuing his kind master's work ever since, to the chagrin of the region's innocent residents. Interesting. Interesting. So he learned from his master a bit too well and he breaks people's necks. And the bridge ends here. So what are we thinking? Are we thinking this is a Mega Flare? It doesn't look natural, does it? I'm thinking it's a Mega Flare that got shot off and just flew the furthest that any Mega Flare could fly and hit here. So I think that's probably one of the most distant impact sites of Bahamut's Mega Flare. He did fly over the city states, so he did fly around, but in terms of east, it's probably one of the most eastern Mega Flares we'll find, unless we see one in the locks. Ma said all the Garlean people ran away. Pa will be so happy when he comes home. He's been gone an awfully long time though. I hope he's okay. Something's going off in my head, primarily because yesterday, if you saw, I asked everybody a question, what side quest you want to see in FF14. One of the side quests I did say was to do with Drest, who is a Garlean conscripted soldier from a conquered land who is in Lanosia, but he can't get away from Lanosia. And he wants to go home. Like, I don't think it's ever explicitly stated where his home is, only that it was a land conquered by the Garleans, and Ala Mhigo is definitely a land conquered by the Garleans, is it? Why do I think it's possible that these two could be his family? Oh, look at that view. And it's raining as well, perfect. Oh, what a view, look at that. Look at that view. Salt flats, I have a weakness for salt flats. I'm not really sure why, but whenever I see one, I just go. Not really sure what it is. Is it the lack of life? The lack of sustainability in a salt flat? Or something else? I'm not really sure. But either way. So specifically what I need are pictures of a mountainous region as part of Ala Mhigo. So the likes of this, for example, I need to get a picture of. I'll show you where Xenos was buried as well. I did show it in my Xenos video at the very beginning. Is it this is the one, that's it. Okay, this is where they buried Xenos. Because the other Xenos when he was in that Ellison's body was over here. But yeah, this was the gravesite where they buried Xenos' body. But now it's covered up again, so there's nobody here. Or, I'm assuming somebody's in there, but I don't know who it is. I'm assuming just they buried another soldier in there. The Garleans may rule over the royal city, but they will never rule over me. Will continue my duty as royal historian to catalogue the deeds of Ala Mhigo's kings, both great and terrible. Yet my recent visits to the crypts have left me a loss for words. With none to tend them, the once somber halls have fallen into a state of utter disrepair. Tombs lie plundered, the bones of kings strewn around and gnawed upon by all manner of foul creatures. Wait, is that it? Okay, I was expecting more for some reason. It felt like a Moorish sort of thing to give me. I'm just noticing their little hands. Look at their little hands. I didn't notice that before. They just kind of look like clouds. I'm assuming they have little feet as well, don't they? Or they have like a little curly hair thing that looks like a foot. With me being here, and I'm gonna log off after this is my challenge over, so I may as well fly again. So, and I need to fly in order to get some proper screenshots of the area, so these screenshots are gonna require mountains. So, 1. Okay. That's good, okay. Just a couple more. Now I can teleport back to my FC house, which I haven't seen in a week. Is there anyone here to greet me? Nobody. Sad face. So, what did I learn over the course of this week? The act of having to travel manually from one location to the other put me in a place I haven't been in ages. I felt like I was back in 2013, exploring everything for the first time. I also used the map more times this week than in the past few years. I felt my connection to the game increase almost immediately. Just by having to walk on the ground to get where I was going really made me feel more a part of the story. When we fly through a zone, everything goes by so fast, we don't really take any of it in. This week felt like that first week of a new expansion, where you had no flight at all and had to travel around on foot. This has inspired me for Dawn Trail. I'm going to challenge myself even further in 7.0 by travelling on foot as I progress through the MSQ. No aetherytes at all. As to where I go from here, I'm going to mix fast travel and ground travel together. I can teleport to distant places if I'm in a hurry, but otherwise during my casual play, I will travel the old-fashioned way. Same goes for flight. I'm going to keep myself rooted to the ground as much as I can, getting that unique viewpoint of the game. Oh, and I'm also going to make use of chocobo porters much more now. I would highly recommend for you to try this for yourself. Even a small trip. Next time you need to go somewhere, take the land route, see how it feels. But that's my week of playing FF14 with no teleport, aetherytes, and no flight.